Today, my name is Sylvia Scoggin. I'm the NIU graduate student. I am interviewing Hipolito Gutierrez, who is my father, for the Latino Oral History Project and Voces of the Pandemic Project at the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies at Northern Illinois University. This project is in partnership with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas in Austin. It is February 9th, 2022. Please know, Mr. Gutierrez, that this interview will be placed in the Northern Illinois University Library and shared with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas at Austin. If there's anything you do not wish to answer or talk about, I will honor your wishes. Also, if there is something you want to talk about, please bring it up and we will talk about it. Because we are not conducting this in... Oh, wait. We are conducting in person. Okay, so I have to ask you a couple questions to get consent. The Center for Latino and Latin American Studies wishes to archive your interview along with any other photographs or documentation at the NIU Northern Illinois University Libraries, Northern Illinois University Libraries, where you retain copy of the interview and any other materials you donate to the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies at Northern Illinois University. Do you give the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies consent to archive your interview and your materials at the Northern Illinois University Library?
Yes.
Do you grant Northern Illinois University Library right, title, interest, and copyright over the interview and any materials you provide?
Yes.
Do you agree to allow Northern Illinois University Libraries to post this interview on the internet where it may be viewed by people around the world?
Yes.
Do you grant the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies consent to share your interview and your materials with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas at Austin for inclusion in the Voces of the Pandemic Oral History Mini Project, which will include posting the interview on the internet?
Yes.
Do you wish for us to share the rest of your interview in your public file available to the researchers at the Benson and NIU libraries?
Yes.
On occasion, the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies and Voces receive requests for journalists who wish to contact you on your interview. We don't share any information publicly that will be blocked, but we only deal with legitimate news outlets. Do you give consent to share your information with journalists if they choose to contact you?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start with prehistory and then when you came over and then COVID. So if you could state your name.
Hipolito Gutierrez.
Your birth date.
August 14, 1950.
Where were you born?
Mexico? Or San Luis Potosí, Mexico. Morales, San Luis Potosí, Mexico.
Yes.
Can you state your parents' names?
Alberto Gutierrez and Juanita Ramirez.
Do you know where they were born?
My mother born San Juan de los Lagos, and my father born in Sartenejas, Jalisco.
Yes.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, plenty.
Lots of brothers and sisters?
We're 11 of us. I got 4 sisters, 3 sisters, and 9 brothers.
Wow. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a part of San Luis Potosí, and we moved to Matamoros, Tamaulipas, when I was 5 years old.
How did you grow up? Do you remember your what was your childhood like?
Average.
No. Are you poor?
Yeah.
Do you remember if your parents worked?
My dad worked. My mother never worked.
Did you ever go to school?
To 5 years, 5th year school.
What was your first job? Did you have a job before you left Mexico?
I used to sell stuff with my dad, like lemons and fruit, whatever, vegetables, and newspapers, sold newspapers, and I work in a restaurant when I was growing up, 7 years old, whatever, yeah, right around there.
Do you want to share anything else before you left Mexico? Anything about your childhood or?
No.
When did you come to the U.S.?
I come in United States in 1966. Yeah.
How did you come here?
Well, I come in 1965 first, and I came over here as a immigrant or whatever, a wetback you call them. I don't know what to call them. I just sneak out of there, and I went to Wisconsin to be a migrant worker.
Why did you came to work, right?
Yeah.
So the first time you came here, you were a worker in Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, yeah. And Levy's company, they make the vegetables and everything, yeah.
How did you get to Chicago?
My brother and my uncle were here already, and they brought me here,
Do you remember when that was?
I said in this 1966, right around there, yeah.
So what did you do when you got to Chicago?
I work in believe it or not, my uncle had a friend, and he got me to work in a packing house, meat market, I got into the business in the meat, and he got me working over there, and I was only 16 years old.
Are you married?
No, I wasn't married then.
Did you get married later?
Many times, but only married in 1972.
How did you meet your spouse?
Through my father-in-law. It was a good friend of my dad's.
Do you have any children?
Yeah.
How many?
3.
What was the? Can you tell me anything about what was it like being an immigrant in the Midwest?
Hard.
Pretty
hard.
Really hard. Was it a lot of racism or discrimination?
Oh yeah. But I didn't give it them. I just came to work.
So when you were here, do you remember when you became a citizen?
No, I was. My wife was not citizen. She was still,
Undocumented?
No, she's still. She had papers since she was 2 years old, and we become the process to fix my papers. She had to become a citizen before I get the process faster, So I become in 1975. I fixed my papers. I went to Canada to fix my papers, not to Mexico.
What did you do as a job when you were here? Or
I wasn't a child. I was a grown man already,
Right. Or you worked at Dominic's, right?
No, I worked in a packing house to 5 years. I work a lot of hours, a lot of everything, and I work almost about 18 hours a day. And I'm working for. I started working in stores as a meat cutter on Hillman's Finer Foods. I worked for a year there, and I worked on Stevens for 5 years. Another year, right around there, 2 years, whatever. And then I become to work in Dominic's all my life. After the rest of my life.
And you became a meat manager, right?
I become a butcher there, nice. Promoted as assistant manager, and then I become a manager. I worked for 27 years. 28 years. 28 years.
So when you came across the border, you just walked? Or did you have to hide?
No, the second time, a friend of mine died, and I bought his mother's papers through her, and I bought the papers through her, and I become I become the guy, I guess, And my name was Jose Javier Quiñones, and that time when I came here, and then when I become a resident in the United States, I changed my name to my real name, Hipolito Gutierrez, and I become, resident of the United States. And I become a citizen after 5 years, after I fix my papers. As a resident and then I become a citizen.
Do you remember anything when you lived in Chicago, like the riots at the Democratic Convention in '68?
I wasn't into the politics, whatever. I just wanted to work, raise a family.
Do you remember the civil rights with Martin Luther King or JFK? You heard JFK being assassinated?
I heard about it, I heard about it. It wasn't, like I say, I didn't speak English at the time much. And I didn't, not Japanese. There's a lot of riots. The blacks made it know that what was going on,
How did you learn English?
Through television, radio, and my wife.
Okay, now we're going to move on to... Oh, do you want to add anything else?
No.
Okay, so we're going to move on to COVID. So, were you personally affected by COVID?
Yes.
Was your family affected by COVID?
Yes.
Did you end up in the hospital because of COVID?
Yes, I did. Not everybody else in my family, just me.
What was it like being in the hospital?
Real bad. I mean, I still have experience of it right now. I mean, after a year. And it's going to take a little time, I still out of it, like, I experienced a lot of, when I was in a hospital, I experienced a lot of, unbelievable crap that, you don't believe it, I experienced a lot of stuff. People don't understand the shit's real.
And do you think you were discriminated against because you're a Latino?
No.
Like healthcare wise?
I never got discriminated much because I'm a little white, and I didn't take no crap from anybody, I mean, by giving back to them, I never got discriminated for nothing.
Do you think because you know English, it was helpful?
Oh, very good. Very helpful, yeah.
Are you vaccinated now?
Yes.
Did you get your booster?
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to add about COVID or how it affected the Latino community more?
No, it's good. I mean, I got a good life.
Did you know that it, compared to Anglos, that it affected Latinos so much that we lost 3 years off of our life expectancy compared to white people lost 1?
Oh yeah. Well, when I quit Dominic's in 1996, I had my own business, landscaping, and we got good people work for me, and I never discriminate anybody. I never give them any crap, whatever. And documenting people work for me, good documented people, and documented whatever. I pay them the same, and I mean they're good people. I mean, work is work. I mean, what can you do? You know what I mean? And become a good business ahead for a while, and then I retire. Right now I'm personally retired right now since last year. I'm 72 years old now.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No.
No? Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is. Oh, hello. Today is February 10th. Okay. No.
Yeah, the 10th. February 10th.
February 10th, 2022. My name is Sylvia Scoggin. I'm an MIU graduate student. I'm interviewing Hipolito Gutierrez, my father, again, for the Latino Oral History Project, Voces of the Pandemic Project, Center for Latino and Latin American Studies at Northern Illinois University. This project is in partnership with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas at Austin. Please know, Mr. Gutierrez, that this interview will be placed in the Northern Illinois University Library and shared with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas at Austin. If there's anything you do not wish to answer or talk about, I will honor your wishes. Also, if there's something you want to talk about, please bring it up and we'll talk about it. I need to record you consenting, so I'll ask you a series of questions. Please say yes, I agree, or no, I don't agree after each one. There will be several questions we need to make sure you agree before we go on. The Center for Latino and Latin American Studies wishes to archive your interview along with any other photographs and other documentation at the Northern Illinois University Libraries. Northern Illinois University Libraries will retain copyright of the interview and any other materials you donate to the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies at Northern Illinois University. Do you give the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies consent to archive your interview and your materials at the Northern Illinois University Libraries?
Yes.
Do you grant Northern Illinois University Libraries right, title, and interest in copyright over the interview and any materials you provide?
Yes.
Do you agree to allow Northern Illinois University to post this interview on the internet where it may be viewed by people around the world?
Yes.
Do you grant the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies consent to share your interview and your materials with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas at Austin for inclusion in the Voces of the Pandemic Oral History Mini Project, which will include posting the interview on the internet?
Yes.
We won't share your information publicly, but some people may want to contact you. Do you wish for us to share your pre-interview in your public file available to researchers at the Benson and NIU libraries?
Yes.
On occasion, the Center for Latino and Latin American Studies and Voces receive requests from journalists who wish to contact our interview subjects. We only deal with legitimate news outlets. Do you give consent for us to share your information in case they want to reach out?
I agree, yeah.
Okay, so I forgot to ask you what your spouse's name was.
Hipolito Gutierrez.
How long have you guys been married?
I'm going on 50 years this year.
So I have a couple questions about your mom. What is your mom like? Or can you describe what she looked like? She was light skin, right? Red hair? What was she like?
Red hair. She's white. She's white. She's like my daughter, Sylvia.
And then your father was?
He's dark. He's
dark skin.
Dark skin.
Did they ever talk about anything about their childhood?
No.
Do you want to talk? Can you tell me anything about your siblings?
We never fight. I cannot remember. Never disrespect each other. And
are they here or are they in Mexico?
There is three of them. Four of them here in the United States, and the rest in the. It's only 7 of us left. So it's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you're right. 7
in Mexico. Yeah. Yeah, 3 in Mexico.
And I don't know, you told me one time you served in the army. Did you in Mexico?
Yes, I served in the army. It's mandatory 1 year.
Do you know how old you were?
You gotta be 16, but I lie.
Do you remember anything that happened in Mexico at the time, with the president, with the Zapatistas, with anything in the government?
No.
No. Okay, so now we're going to move on to ethnicity. So, how would you classify yourself? Would you be Mexican American? Would you be Mexican? Would you be immigrant? Would you be Latino, Latinx, Chicano?
Mexican American.
How do you feel about the other or Hispanic?
Hispanic. Yes.
How do you feel about the new classifications of Latino and Latinx?
The new regime, I guess, is what they call. Different, different.
Do you think it involves more, like the Afro-Latinos, the multiracial, the Caribbean Latinos?
They do. They get more involved, in all the everything, whatever, they get involved with the politics, more than before, I guess, yes.
Okay, and then here in the United States, do you remember Proposition 187? Do you remember when they were trying to pass to make it illegal for Mexican immigrants or any immigrants in California not to go to public school. Do you remember that?
No,
Okay, so they had a huge protest. I didn't know if you remember that. You're like,
No.
it was early 90s, right?
no, they don't. I don't remember that because the only place I live is in Chicago, and like I say, I never got involved in politics or whatever.
How do you feel about the separation and them putting them people in camps when they try to cross the border?
Oh, with the people,
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong. But Trump's politics or whatever. It's wrong. I mean, I think it was wrong. Separate the kids from their mothers and everything.
Do you think he singled out Mexicans?
Oh.
Do you think Trump singled out Mexicans?
Oh yeah, I see it.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Blacks and Mexicans. I see him when he was, talking about politics and everything. I see him. He's just, I don't know. He's different. The guy don't belong there. I mean, to be a public, politicians or whatever. You know what I mean? It's what I thought myself. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't get involved in too much of that. My wife does, but I don't.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
No? Okay. Thank you again.